Hi, it's Nikki here from Happy Hormones for Life. I hope you're well. Today I am talking about brain fog. Brain fog, oh my goodness, it's one of the biggest things me and my friends complain about. The amount of times we stop ourselves in the middle of a sentence and look around for help. You know that thingamajig, what's his name? Oh my God, it just disappears. Now, my friends are in their 50s like me, so it's not surprising actually because it's one of the most common symptoms of menopause. But it's not just menopause, there's other things that are going on. So we need to look at that as well. And it can be really scary when you're constantly forgetting things or you completely lose your train of thought when you've been, a kind of sharp and sassy person in the past. And also, we might be, caring or know about relatives with Alzheimer's or dementia, and that's, pretty scary. The good news is, more often than not, it's common and garden brain fog that's driving us crazy, and there are lots of things we can do about that, which is the good news. So I'm going to go through some causes. What is causing the brain fog? It's not always the obvious things, but yeah, one of the obvious things is stress. Cortisol's job is to put the body on alert to deal with a threat, which is anything from a lion attack to a demanding job, a difficult relationship, families, emotion, money worries, 24/7 tech, a global pandemic, you name it. And this is going to mess with your hormones, including damaging your brain neurotransmitters, causing mood swings, low mood, anxiety, and foggy thinking. It's like, have you ever tried to solve a problem when you're stressed? It's that kind of thing. Your brain is just foggy, and it doesn't get a chance to switch off with stress very often. So I'm going to talk more about that later. The second reason for brain fog is menopause. Uh, there's a reason that it hits women over the age of 40 particularly, and that's when your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone levels start to fall. And all of these hormones have a protective effect on the brain. Nutrient deficiencies, you need a hell of a lot of nutrients for your brain to work well. Your brain needs energy to produce, which needs B vitamins, iron, and a host of other cofactors as well. And it needs good levels of protein and particularly needs essential fats, these omega-3s, which are incredibly important for your brain cells. Antioxidants as well to protect it from damage as you get older. So if your diet's low in these nutrients, your brain cells can slow right down and make you sluggish. Also, if your gut's not absorbing these nutrients very well, so your diet might be excellent, but if you're not absorbing the nutrients, then your brain can suffer. Food sensitivities is another cause of brain fog. So common culprits are, wheat, gluten, dairy, soy, these sorts of things. They can cause inflammation in the body, and that travels to the brain, and this can disrupt nerve signaling. A really good book to read on this is Wheat Belly by Dr. William Davis. He talks about modern day wheat and how it causes brain fog and other cognitive issues. The next reason I want to talk about is underlying gut infection. So your gut is like your second brain. The gut-brain link is very active. They talk to each other, and so your gut has a huge impact on your mental health. So when your microbiome and those trillions of microbes in your gut are out of balance, too many bad bacteria or yeast or parasites, you can get brain fog, mood swings, cravings, and depression, amongst many other symptoms. So it's definitely worth investigating the gut and making that link. The next cause is sleep. So we know how detrimental lack of sleep is on your ability to function, but it's also going to obviously affect your thinking, your memory, your focus, your reaction time, your coordination, all that stuff. Blood sugar is the next one. So too much insulin production can contribute to inflammation in the brain, and that can also disrupt the neurotransmitters. So it's just another thing to think about. Thyroid hormones, really key. So for women over 40, thyroid tends to be low. And the effect on that is that your brain cells don't get enough energy. That means that they're going to be more prone to things like memory loss, low mood, fatigue, fogginess, anxiety, low motivation, all those symptoms that we know can be attributed to low thyroid. Toxins, long-term exposure to things, the chemicals in our food, water, household and personal products can contribute to brain fog, headaches, cognitive decline, and a whole load of other symptoms as well. So we have to factor in those toxins and that chemical exposure. And then there's the lack of exercise. So we know physical activity helps the blood flow, it helps deliver oxygen and nutrients to your cells. Your brain needs a lot of both to function well. So if you're too sedentary, your circulation can stagnate, and so can your brain. So solutions, what can we do about it? First of all, we need to nourish our brain cells with the right foods. We need plenty of healthy fats. Excuse me. Avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, coconut oil, those kind of healthy fats. Really important. Your brain is 60% fat, so it needs to be nourished with fat. You need to be eating plenty of protein. That's going to help supply the brain with what it needs. Organic meats, wild caught fish, organic dairy, soy, quinoa, pulses, beans, all that kind of stuff, depending on your diet, obviously. Oily fish, incredibly important for those omega-3s. So we're looking at wild salmon, sardines, mackerel, anchovies. Antioxidants, we need antioxidants to protect the brain cells against damage as you get older. Antioxidants can be found in pretty much all your colourful fruit and veg. The more colourful, the better. So berries are particularly full of antioxidants, as is dark chocolate. That's good news. And good quality coffee, high in antioxidants. So if you're not sensitive to caffeine, fill yourself up on that. That's going to be good for your brain. Herbs and spices, really important. Turmeric, sage, rosemary, cloves, cinnamon, oregano, cumin. There's lots and lots of herbs and spices. They all have an antioxidant effect on the brain as well, and they can be good for different things. Hydration, really important. So dehydrated brain cells are not going to help clear the fog. It's so important to keep your cells hydrated. So that means at least 2 litres of liquid water, including non-caffeinated drinks, so herbal teas and decaf stuff is okay as well. 2 litres is usually adequate for most people, but more if you're exercising or sweating a lot. Try a gluten-free diet if you suspect that you may have a sensitivity or an intolerance, or at least wheat-free for 3 to 4 weeks, and see if your brain fog improves. I've had so many clients who've taken off gluten and suddenly they can think straight. It's incredible. You can go try our 30-day program as well. I'll put the link in if you want to follow a plan. It's all gluten-free. The next thing to do is balance your blood sugar. Make sure that, this is so important for all of your hormones as well as your brain. So this is a bit of a no-brainer. Eat low GL foods, lots of protein and healthy fats at each meal to keep you full and blood sugar stable. You want to avoid the processed foods and the refined sugars and carbohydrates, and limit your snacking, because snacking just pushes up the blood sugar and puts you on that roller coaster a lot of the time. Adrenal support is incredibly important. We want to limit our stressors if we can, and then schedule that daily self-care, daily relaxation to balance your cortisol, to switch off that stress response. So important to help support your brain. And then we want to also try and look at minimizing our exposure to the chemicals. So filtering your tap water, switch to plastic-free products, for instance, eating organic where you can, avoiding those synthetic fragrances in things like candles and air fresheners and perfume products, because they're just going to be not only hormone disrupting, but they're going to help or contribute to things like brain fog. And of course, smoking as well. That's really not good for your brain, amongst other things. Moving more, we want to try a mix of walking, weights, yoga, stretching, a little bit of cardio as well for a balanced routine. We don't want over exercising in any area. We want a nice balance and the right amount for you, because we don't want to be increasing that cortisol too much, which over exercising can do. And also look at increasing your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is things like walking, taking the stairs, anything but sitting or exercising. And then sleep, it's really important to get to bed earlier, follow a sleep hygiene routine, make sure your room's dark, you're off your gadgets, all that stuff. We want to get the best quality sleep that we can. That's really going to help the brain function properly. Supplements can be really helpful. I've got a collection of approved vitamins, which I can put a link for all my recommended brands, but we're looking particularly for the brain at vitamin D. It's so important. Omega-3 fats, EPA, DHA. We want magnesium in there as well. There's a form called 3 and 8, magnesium 3 and 8, which crosses the blood-brain barrier. It's a really good one for the brain. We want a good multivitamin with good levels of all your B vitamins. B vitamins are critical for brain function, and of course all your essential minerals as well. We want some choline, especially if you don't eat egg yolks. That's a really important brain nutrient. We want some turmeric in there, or curcumin is the extract of that. And things like other herbs, including like sage and rosemary and panax ginseng, rhodiola, ginkgo biloba. All those herbs are really nice for brain supplements. Testing is critical if you've got constant brain fog and other symptoms that you don't know, you can't get to the underlying reason for. Once you've tried all this and you're doing all the right things and it's not working, then it may be time to look at testing. So we're looking at your iron, which is ferritin, which is your stored iron, especially if you've got heavy periods or you've had a recent operation and you've had some bleeding. A full thyroid panel is essential. I've talked about this before, because thyroid will definitely impact your brain function. Adrenal testing, important as well. Sex hormones, you want to look at your estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, critical for brain function, and gut health if you've got other symptoms as well. So if your brain's foggy and your memory's terrible, don't despair. A few tweaks here and there can make the biggest difference. And if not, like I said, contact us for more information about how to get some testing done. Hope that was helpful. I'll see you all soon.